Today we have a 2018 Honda Odyssey with a 3.5 V6. The customer's complaint is of a growling noise heard inside the cabin. Just take a listen. So first impression is it's an exhaust leak or a timing belt tensioner that has failed. The only issue with both of those is the noise can literally only be heard inside of the cabin. Once you get out into the engine bay, you cannot hear a thing. It does not matter if you power brake it or rev the engine up, there's no noise coming from the engine bay. The only indication I had was this fuel line bouncing around right there. So what I did was I took a stethoscope and I held it to the high pressure pump, and I about went deaf trying to listen to it. So it was kind of a dead giveaway that that's what this thing needed. So to get to the pump, you have to take the air box off, the upper intake and the lower intake, and then the pump is pretty much just staring you in the face. I had a difficult time removing this air box and air intake. Make that more difficult than it had to be. So to remove the upper intake, I believe it was 6 14mm bolts and 2 14mm nuts. And then the intake just comes right off. There's a purge valve line back there, I believe, that I forgot to remove. And for the lower intake, it was 7 14mm bolts and 2 14mm nuts. And then the fuel pump is right here underneath this cover. There it is. Cute little pump. So to remove the pump, I don't believe you have to have it set to TDC. Just kind of back the bolts off evenly and it should come right out of there with no issue. This connector here can be kind of difficult. It's kind of an older Ford style with a tab on either side of it. And the fuel line fitting right there was very difficult to remove without breaking it. So just be very patient and work with it. It will come off of there.
Why not? Keep a high pressure fuel on.
The pump we installed did come with a new fuel line from the pump to the fuel rails. Whenever you're installing this high pressure pump, just be sure that the cam lobe or the lifter is at the very bottom of its travel. Just rotate the engine, watch the lifter, and you'll see whenever it bottoms out.
Good enough for Hoots 4. Bam! Bam! Ha-cha!
So right here, I've actually forgot to install the foam cover that goes over the high pressure fuel pump. I never noticed it until I was pulling the vehicle out of the bay. And I also lost the footage for the install of the upper intake. However, it's literally the reverse of removal. If you pulled it off, you can put it back on. gonna have a extended crank on initial startup here just because the fuel system lost its prime. Way different sound. Yeah, so we can confirm that that fixed it. A good visual representation is look how steady that fuel line is. So there you go. If you have a Honda 3.5 with a growling noise, it's probably the high pressure fuel pump. Thanks for watching.